And yeah,
Sometimes it's my nails. I never keep my nails off or short enough, long enough to learn how to play.
that was the other
And so I
part.
want to sacrifice my fingernails to learn how to play the guitar. Not really, because that's not paying my bills.
All right. Well, we are live just in case y'all wanted to know. So don't say nothing
Hey
that you don't want
y'all.
nobody else to know.
Well, just in case y'all know, the guitar does not pay my bills.
Yeah.
That's why it's on the
It,
wall.
mm,
All
but
right.
if you were to really teach ourselves, no doubt we could probably get to that point of the bills
We
being
probably
paid.
could. We might need to get us some lessons so we can get us write our theme song.
Look at her.
All right. So here's how it's going down, everybody. Welcome to the Brown South Girls Podcast. I am Miss Tanya. We got somebody up. It's three brown girls on the screen right now. I know y'all noticed that. Go ahead and tell them hey, y'all. Tell them hey.
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
All right, we got Horror in the house. We got KJ here with us. The Brown South Girls are kicking out something new. We're gonna do something different for you. We've got somebody new. Let's all just say hello and give her so much love. So y'all get in the
Hello.
chat and give her a little bit of love. Give her a little bit of
How y'all
love.
doing?
Let her get used to it.
Got the speakers muted.
All right. For the corny effects, we got those too, but we're not gonna do too much of that. I just want to go ahead and say it's been a while since we've done this, KJ.
It has. Woo, it has.
It has
How long has it been?
almost, believe it or not, like
Probably
almost
almost
two
two
years.
years. Yeah, almost 2 years.
And I tell you something, the people who have been rocking with the Brown South Girls, they have been rocking because I don't even think they notice it. I get people talking about the Brown South Girls all the time, and
Yeah.
while I'm doing a little stuff here, let me make sure on my devices that everything is
Yeah,
live.
Gotta work
that's
on
That
so.
would help. I do want to do that. I want to make sure. Okay,
Yeah, we up
cool.
there. I see us.
We
Yeah.
are. Um, I tell you something, and I got to let everybody know. I have no idea what they're going to be talking about here today. The changes that are going through. I'm going to be behind the scenes. Just going to let you guys know that these ladies are going to rock out and do the show. Let me get them up here. Boom. Just like that. So you see me here. I'm just going to be in my little producer's corner doing what the producer does. Ladies,
I love
let
that.
the people know what you're going to be talking about today and get on into it.
Come on, producer corner.
Right. I love to see it. Well, first of all, how are you doing, girl?
I am doing good on this beautiful Sunday. I thought the
Right.
storms and stuff was gonna come through and give me a good little rest.
Same. Same. Because yesterday it monsooned, and right before we started recording, it was dark, and then the sun came out. So I said, "Great, let's take it.
Perfect. Nothing like
Let's
a
take
good
it."
sunrise after the storm. Nothing like it.
Right. Exactly.
Hopefully, it wasn't too muggy for you.
Well,
Welcome to
we
the
are in the
South.
South. Look, today put the South in Brown South girls, okay?
Absolutely. How are you?
I'm making it. I'm good. I'm glad to be back. Excited
Yeah,
to be here with you. So yeah, doing good.
I'm
No
excited
complaints.
too. I did not know it had been 2 years. I feel like at the Juneteenth event that I saw your mom at, someone was introducing your mom, and she was like, "And the Brown South show of Brown South Girls." I was like, "Okay, I
Yeah,
see you."
I don't
So
think
the
I
people
realized it
have,
either.
yeah, the people have definitely been waiting for you guys to come back. So welcome back.
And welcome. So glad to have you here. We got Keisha LaShawn in the comments saying hello, ladies.
Hey, Keisha.
Just so the folks know, that's one of my good favorite aunts. So
Hey,
hey,
Miss
we also have
Rob.
another hello. Thank you for being here, guys.
Can we
So I
clap
guess
it up for the producer one time? Cause honey, I
yes.
could, I could never.
I tried to be a producer yesterday. We're just gonna leave it at that. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Hey, Miss Tori.
Yes,
I love that. I love being able to see the comments up on the screen. Cause I
right.
would, yeah, I would get lost
So
in the sauce for that.
I just got to remember not to click nothing and let the producer produce so I don't get lost. So,
Thank you.
hmm
What we starting out with today, girlfriend?
Oof, well, we decided to come in hot talking about modern relationships. And I really think it's a good topic, especially with the summertime being Love Island season. I'm also
Oh.
watching. So, I'm just all in the internet streets with these relationships.
Mm,
How about where
mm-hmm.
you at in this situation?
Well, I have been married for like 6 years.
Love it.
And
Congratulations, girl.
thank you. And I will say, I have several friends who are single
Hmm.
and mingling or attempting to mingle.
Hmm.
And they're like, you don't want to be out here in these streets. Like, don't be out here in these people's streets talking about no relationships and all of those things. It's
Yeah,
rough from what the
it
streets are
is.
saying.
Yeah, I think I found me a nice place on the sidewalk because the
Mm,
street's not for me. Mm-mm. It's not a
yeah.
safe place. And I think too, just kind of, I guess, being single in the dating world, it's very interesting to see everybody's kind of thoughts and perceptions on what dating is supposed to be like, especially with how trash the dating pool is right now.
Hmm.
So I feel for your friends, girl. I feel for your friends. And let
The
them know we're all in this together.
form a little support group, huh?
No, seriously.
Yeah, I can see that, and I know like the conversation always becomes like not necessarily the boundaries within a relationship, but like how
Mhm.
involved or the responsibilities, to say the least, in relationships, and then getting into relationships versus partnerships, like the TikTok
Ooh,
video that I saw,
yeah.
where it's like, there is a difference between the two.
Mhm.
Some people it's cool to have relations with, but does
Right.
that necessarily mean that I want you to be my partner?
Ooh, wait a minute. Let's unpack that a little bit.
Mm,
Let's unpack that a
mm,
little bit. Because we're
mm,
saying, okay, yeah, we can have relations, we can
mm.
do all of those fun, nice things,
Yeah.
but the partnership piece,
Yes.
I think that's the piece that a lot of people are missing, and a piece that a lot of people are looking over to. And I was actually having this conversation with one of my best friends yesterday, just about people, and including the shows I'm watching, how it's like, okay, I'm dating this person, and they're excited to get to the wedding. That is not the rest of your life. That is a day that
Mm,
honestly costs a lot of money from
mm,
what I see and from what I hear, because I have a friend who's engaged right now. So I hear it's expensive. So y'all just trying to get to this one day to spend all this money. But what are you going to do with the rest of that partnership? What does the marriage look like?
right.
What does the partnership look like? What is the
Hmm.
so yeah. That's the conversation. And I think there's just a huge disconnect in what we as women want as partnership and what men see as partnership.
The I think the disconnect too is for a lot of people within themselves, because a lot of us don't really know what we want as an
Yes.
individual, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
I, as an individual, am X, Y, and Z. This is what I'm desiring. This is what this looks like. This is what I look like on a day to day basis.
Yes.
Self awareness, all the whole thing. This is what I look like on a day to day
Hmm.
basis. Versus, it's like we are partnering, two conglomerates coming together, or two individuals coming together to form a conglomerate, maybe something like that.
Hmm.
Where it is not necessarily where you're looking for that other person to fill a void or to be said thing. I know it's a
Yes.
joke, like a running joke, I feel like low key, but also high key, where people are like, oh, well, some women get married for the security aspect, right?
Hmm.
And in my eyes, I'm like, I feel like that should be a part of it. Yeah, like I don't want you just out here marrying instability. Like, of course
Please
not.
don't.
Right. Secure the bag if you must. Like, please,
Right.
But it goes beyond the financial means as well. You have
Hmm.
emotional stability, emotional awareness. You have some people who have no clue how to process their emotions, let alone to help someone else or to understand someone else's emotions. Um, but I think relations and partnerships go beyond just like, oh, like if you're dating, even with like career wise as well. Start looking at your job like, hey, is this, what am I gaining from this relationship, right? Like maybe it's just
Yes.
experience, it's just a little bit right here, and I'm trying to get
Hmm.
to the next step.
Exactly.
Or is this
Hmm.
a partnership in which, hey, now I'm invested in this company as well?
Right.
You guys give me this, I give you that.
Exactly. Like, what am I learning here? What am I taking from this? And like you said too, being self-aware enough to know, what do I want? What am I willing to bring? What am I willing
Hmm.
to tolerate? What I'm like, absolutely not, I will not be doing that. And then two, making sure that those things are mutual. Like, you don't have to be all 100% aligned and have the same perspectives, but at least understanding, like, okay, morally, we are on the same page and we have the same goal at the end.
Hmm.
Because, like you said again, if you don't know what you want, how do you know what to expect from somebody else? Because
Yeah,
that's something I really did have to think about too, just in life in general. Like, if I really want to date, what am I dating for and why? Because
come
I'm
on.
okay. My life is going well with me, my dog. I'm taking care of, bills are paid.
We chilling.
I'm chilling. I don't mind being a strong, independent woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind depending either. But if I decide that I want to date and I want to, I don't even want to say disrupt, but I want to add something to what I already have.
Yeah.
What does that look like for me? And how am I going to make sure this is beneficial? Because I'm not losing myself.
Mm.
This is not going to be transactional tit for tat.
Yeah.
So, and if this is just going to be a partnership where, okay, maybe we have a business together, or maybe we have a podcast together, cool.
Yeah.
I probably won't do that latter part, but just for the sake of the conversation. But if this is going to be a relationship, what does that look like for us? What is our long term growth? And then how do we bring partnership into that relationship?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I completely agree with that. I didn't have, I feel like when I, looking in hindsight, right? The
Mm-hmm.
grace aspect that we have to learn to give ourselves is not looking back in hindsight saying, "Oh, well, you should have known," or da da da, all this other type of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, right? Because you just wasn't her at that time,
Right. You
right?
didn't know.
Yeah, like I feel like I had a list of non-negotiables up here that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like compiled from seeing, because I'm the number six out of seven siblings. So I feel like I didn't necessarily live a lot of experiences to build my list, but from observations,
Mm-hmm.
the list was built.
Yep.
And because much so like yourself, like I had already had, my financials established, my career was pretty much established as a nurse. Um, Emotionally, I didn't realize that we probably could have waited a little bit longer. Huh? Like the true self development going into womanhood versus where I was then, I'm like, I no, I was not her.
Yes.
Baby, I did not have that womanhood list together. I did not have my me list
Mm-mm.
together. It was kind of like,
Listen.
okay, long as I could travel, eat, and da 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 da, and do whatever I want to do, like I'm fine. As long as you ain't interrupting my flow. Now that very much
Right.
still remains the same, but
Yeah.
now having other things that has become a part of that flow, uh, especially from the womanhood sector, it's like, ooh, I didn't plan for this. The
No,
list has changed,
seriously.
baby. Yesterday's rate is not today's rate.
Right. Yesterday's list is not today's list.
No.
Things may have been added, things may have been taken off.
So let me ask a question here. How old
Mhm.
were you, Har, when you got married?
Oh gosh. Oh, well, 6 years ago. It was
Look, that's
33
me trying to do
minus
math.
6. I was 27.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. I
27.
I do want to say I want to bring something in a little bit here on that because you said something that I feel like you were about to go somewhere probably before I asked how old you were, but you're right. Throughout a relationship, marriage,
Mhm.
whatever that is, you are definitely going to continue to grow. So
Yeah.
you are becoming a new woman all of the time, as well as your partner is becoming a new man or
Hmm.
whoever your partner is as well
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. So the idea is that you learn how to work with this person who is becoming new,
Hmm.
and you remember that you're really not supposed to be the same. You're supposed to be getting older. You're supposed to have different goals. You're going to have career changes. There's going to be so
Yeah.
many life dynamics inside of that, and you're going to have to know who you need to be for that partner at a particular time.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I need that.
And
I need that cheat code or that guide, Miss Tanya.
right.
Where
Let's
like
go ahead and write
it's
that
that
down.
part of womanhood for me where I'm like I saw the aspect like I saw everybody was grown, and I was like, well, I can't wait to be grown. You know, I can't wait to be this. But it was some
Yep.
fine print. It's a lot of fine print,
Right. It
right?
was the fine
That I
print we
didn't
didn't
see.
read. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
but see, and you're also a mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
children bring a different dynamic to the relationship as well.
Listen, Hoppo, who this woman? Because each one, it was a different woman. Like, what? And I'm looking at people who have 10 kids, 8 kids. I'm like, how did you go? You are a mutant at this point, baby, because I know you changed with every one of those. How?
I can only imagine. I can
Yeah,
only
the pivot
imagine.
is real. I'm like, no. I tell my mama all the time, girl, I needed the guide. You didn't give me the guidebook. There was no fine print. I read some of the
Was
books. I ain't gonna hold you. I read
right.
some of the parenting books. None of the frameworks work. My kids slept when they wanted to, ate when I'm like, what? This
Like,
is
I
not
don't
what the
think
book
this is
said.
right for me. Right. And Keisha Lasan said we love and grow together, which is very, very true. And
Absolutely.
even to my mom's point, because I was going to ask you the same question about how old you were when you got married. Because
Mhm.
one thing that I vividly remember my mama telling me, I hope she's staying in her producer corner, was just like, take some time to get to know yourself and just don't get married before you're 25. And at first,
Yes.
I didn't really understand what that meant. I didn't know about the whole frontal lobe development thing. I was just like, okay, I guess, sure, whatever. But
Mm.
now, in my 30s, and I'm thinking back to 25-year-old me, thank the Lord I listened.
Listen, them dodge bullets, ain't it?
That and just that, and because, like we're saying too, evolving as a woman, like the woman I was at 25 is not the woman I am right now. The woman I am right now is not the woman I was last year. And I
Maybe
really,
yesterday, huh?
honestly, this morning, even this morning, and I just needed all of those times and all of those years and experiences to like really grow and learn myself, but also learn, okay,
Yes.
what am I like, kind of like I said earlier, what I'm willing to like give, tolerate, receive in a relationship. So I was very appreciative of that advice for sure.
I tell you what, that still doesn't change. Whatever age it is that you decide, you're continuing to grow. I mean,
Yeah.
even at 40, 50, 60, every
Mhm.
decade is something new, a new way of looking at things. So the idea is that you just have the patience and hopefully the partner that
Mhm.
you both know that. And
Yeah.
just like Keisha said here, we grow and evolve. We evolve and grow together.
Yeah.
That's that really is it. You have to find someone who you're willing to do that with, and you have to know that. Like I
Yes.
said, there's going to be different seasons. We have different seasons, just like the weather, and
For
you've
real.
got to outside of abuse,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and abuse takes several different forms, but outside of abuse, you know you decided to be in a relationship with this person. You should be able to work something out, realize not only am I growing, but you got to realize that so are they. So you've got to be able to do that, and that's wonderful. We do it for our friends.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that we do it
I
for our
would hope you
friends
would
all
do
the
it for
time.
your partner.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
understanding when people are in their different seasons, like everybody doesn't grow
Yeah.
at the same time, and
Right.
everybody like you're pivoting, your partner or your friend may not be pivoting. It's going to be seasons where it's like, well, dog, you just jumped off the porch, and I'm
Right.
still closing the door, but
Yeah.
but even in that, like she was saying, just having that understanding that,
Hmm.
okay, we are human beings. Sometimes I have to remind myself that, like, you are a human being, and sometimes you can't operate out here like you're a robot.
You can't. You
It's
really
not
can't.
paid programming. Nobody's just gonna sit here and switch the code and you decide to be this today and that tomorrow. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And I feel like in a lot of those times too, because in our notes we have, talking about bargaining systems and transactional relationships.
Yeah.
And I feel like there has definitely been some experiences in my life where that growth is
Mhm.
more so being used as a bargaining chip, or like, okay, now let's make this tit for tat. I gave you time to grow. So now I'm gonna go be foolish and call it me growing. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
still need to hold ourselves accountable for, what we have going on. And just because I'm giving you the grace and the space to grow, don't mean you got to go out here acting grace. Because the same way I can give you the grace, I can take it back.
Listen, what they say, try Jesus, don't try me, because I
Mm.
I don't really have a whole
Right.
lot to give. Huh? I don't.
Right. It's above me
Um,
now.
yeah, that
Hmm.
part.
It's
Heavy
above
on
me
that.
now.
Heavy on that. The bargaining aspect though is very much so. I feel like a thing that we see a lot in today's society,
Hmm.
when it comes from like, oh, she pays for, I pay for a date, she pay for a date. Or if we go on a date and I pay for everything, that automatically means like, okay, we come back to kick it at your house. Or
Right.
we don't have to do, no, it don't have to
No.
be none of that. Like we can literally go out, have a good time. And you find most women now who will say, I would rather pay for my own things. I would rather have this experience with my homegirls because there's no bargaining there.
Absolutely. You know, at the end of this activity, this day, you can go home and nobody's got to bother you.
That part.
You can literally go home, enjoy the day, and decompress and do what you got to do. You don't have to worry about
Exactly.
feeling like you may owe somebody something. It's like, no, I can just go have a good time. And it's
Exactly.
nice. And honestly, it's nice when you can date and feel that too. It's
Mhm.
refreshing because it's like about time. Why can't we get to know each other and just have a good time? Because dates also don't have to be these extravagant, expensive experiences. If you
Right.
don't want to spend the money, you can get creative.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
for the way,
intention. It
right,
just has to be intentional.
exactly. And with the way people,
Intentional courting, dating, like
mhm,
friendships. Um,
yes,
I don't want to be the friend that has to reach out all the time because I'm gonna feel like I'm a bugaboo, like I'm bugging you.
right,
Okay,
right.
cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I could pull back. It's okay.
Hmm.
But yeah, definitely dating with intentions or being in relational or intentional relationships and partnerships
Yeah,
is hands down. I think that takes the cake for a lot of stuff.
I
Being
think so
intentional.
too. I think so too. And I think just a thought kind of that I had in conversation yesterday too. It's crazy that this was our topic today and I was having all of these conversations yesterday. But even in the dating process and like once you decide, okay, this is me and this person decide we want to be exclusive or however that may look, also like building a friendship first. And I don't know why, but I've just seen in the world how we really do treat our friends better than we treat the people we date. So if we're gonna do this, let's be friends first. So at the end of the day, when it's time for us to have those hard conversations, if we
Yeah.
gotta take off the relationship hat but put on the friend hat so that we remain respectful, we're still listening to each other, we're still giving grace,
Mhm.
then we can do that.
Mhm.
But I have also been in situations where a guy be like, "Oh, I mean, I don't want to be your friend. Then why are we here? Because why are we here?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I
Yeah. Like you
literally
should be able to rock with me as a person first and
right. Like
foremost.
we can't be friends first. There's nothing else for us. There's nothing else for us to do. There's nowhere for us to progress from here.
Yeah. And where does the foundation start from?
Right.
Right?
You can't
Again,
just
the
put a house on the
intentions.
ground.
So when a man or a guy tells you that he doesn't want to be your friend, are we talking about, does that part of the conversation comes about when a relationship wants to move into a sexual relationship? Is that where that goes? Because why does
Um,
that why would they say that?
I
You know,
think
that's
it
actually a really good question.
yeah, I think it when it comes down to typically like expectations on both ends, right?
Hmm.
So for most guys, maybe it would be sexual, right? Because that's usually like, hey, that's when we both know, hopefully, that we really rocking with each other. For some people, it may be whenever there is monetary gain involved,
Hmm.
right? Like, oh well, she want to kick it, but she'll only let me kick it with her if I pay a light bill. So it's a transactional, expectation at that point where it's like, okay, well, either we friends, we can just kick it on a friend level because there's not much investment from my part. It's just, hey, I don't have to put in any extra efforts. We friends. If you see me out and about with somebody else, you ain't gonna act all woozy on me and go crazy because we just friends. And I feel like whenever you get to crossing over the line of more so into a relationship outside of a friendship, that comes with set expectations and set, like, hey, Now we might be a little bit more exclusive. Now you may be okay with paying for a little something, or you may be looking into, I think it just comes with the expectations aspect when you're stepping out of the friend zone. Because, like guys go, oh, she friend zoned me. And it's like,
Yeah.
what do you mean she friend zoned you? Where were you before? You know, when
Yeah.
did you decide to step
Yes.
out of the friend zone? Oh, well, my feelings, I was expecting us, I thought we were going to, well, you didn't communicate those expectations with me to see if I align with those. So yeah,
Right.
you was in
And
friend zone.
yeah. And I think you just gave me the perfect answer to that question, actually, because thinking about it now, with just the connotation behind being friend zoned, I feel like that is probably why men don't want to be your friend, because it's like, oh man, she friend zoned me. I'm never going to get anywhere with her. So, to my mom's point, yeah, sometimes it can be that sexual, like, okay, I'm just her friend. She's pushing me to the side. We can never grow and be more.
Yeah,
But guess what? If we're friends and we're having these conversations and we're actually talking about what our expectations are and what we want,
yeah,
then we can decide if that is the road we need to take or if that is the path that we're going to go down or if we just really do need to be friends, because sometimes you can just be friends. It's okay.
that's it.
Plenty of platonic guy friends and I love them. They have my back. So it's
I'm telling
fine.
you, some of my best, I guess, like means of connections and networking have come through my guy friends.
Yes.
Majority of them. It's like, oh, we got such and such going on. You need to be in Atlanta this weekend. Da 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 da. Say less.
Hmm.
I'm there.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
So how does that work out for you now as a
Mm-hmm.
married woman?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Now that has been a little bit more difficult to navigate, especially early on, right?
Mm.
Because as a man, my man is going to think how other men are thinking. Like, oh, you you going to
Right.
Atlanta for a whole weekend for a networking event? I'm like, well, you
Right.
can
Will
come
you?
along. Like come along. I want
Right.
you to meet such and such, whatever the case may be. And I think a part of that is like open communication.
Yeah.
I've
Hmm.
always, when we were dating, um, it's not like it's no new friends because I'm open to new friends, of course, and connections and
Right.
networking and things of that nature. But open communication, was it a
Hmm.
easy communication initially? Because it's like, how do I explain to you why this person keeps popping up, or how do I explain to
Right.
you? And it's not like an explanation of why I have to do or am I allowed to do a certain thing,
Hmm.
but more so it was a part of my identity as we came
Yeah.
into this thing. Like you said, I'm not going to lose myself. I enjoy being out and networking. I thrive in social environments. I thrive learning new things, meeting new people, new environments. That's
Hmm.
my thing. That's my lane. And
Right.
so for me, it was like, hey, you're a very social person. You're a very outgoing person as well. I don't know
Hmm.
half of the ways that you get your connections or whatever. But for me, you're probably going to have to be okay with knowing that 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a guy inviting me to an event. Also, knowing
Right.
that you can come.
Right.
Hey, rather it's if you want to know if it's a previous history or whatever the case may be, like that's an open book. I can
Hmm.
tell you that. But what I am
Right.
going to also let you know is what I'm not going to miss out on. Not miss
Exactly.
out on that.
Not
Yeah,
missing out on any
I'm
of
not
that.
missing out on that. Possibilities of building, expansion, even if
Mhm.
it's not necessarily about making money, but just opportunity. I am a big opportunist. We can't, no. I love you.
Right.
Come on, get your tux out. We got a gala to go
Right.
to.
Pack your bags.
Let's go.
Let's get it
We
getting. Come
going.
on, you're going with me.
Yeah,
Exactly. Um,
absolutely.
So we have a
Ooh,
comment from
Kimberly.
Kimberly Sinclair here. It says, an older gentleman, Jerry, told me years ago, I didn't want to lose my wife, so I worked on our friendship. We became best friends, and I wouldn't do anything to her that I wouldn't do to my best friend. Nearly 30 years later, we are still the best of friends. And that's
Absolutely.
what I'm saying. Like the things that we will not do to our friends and like the conversations we will have because listen, that's my girl. You are not going anywhere. We're gonna figure this out.
Listen,
So why are we not able to do that in relationships? And I might be saying that to myself too sometimes because listen, bye.
I think it requires
Gotta
a
go.
different level of vulnerability, right?
It does. It
You know what I'm
does.
saying? And as somebody
Hmm.
who I struggled with vulnerability for a little while, even with my husband, and just having certain conversations with him to just
Hmm.
be like, hey, look, this is just where I stand with it. With my
Yeah.
homegirl, it would be like for one, because she's a woman, so you don't necessarily have those preconceived notions or hesitations because it's like, dog, now I
Yeah.
got to, and the aggravation too sometimes, because now you
Mhm.
won't. I got to explain to you the female part and then
Right.
our part. When I'm kicking it with
Exactly.
my homegirl, she already get the woman part about it.
Right.
Now you just need to get my perspective. So a lot of times I think
Hmm.
that makes it difficult when trying to communicate with your partner or your spouse because it's like I got to bring you up to speed with where I'm really coming from, and then
Hmm.
I got to try to guide you into seeing that hey, don't take it as personal.
Exactly. And then I gotta
Sometimes it's
sprinkle in
just a
my
woman thing.
dramatics.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm
Like I
gonna do
might
that
just
now.
need to be dramatic for like 10 minutes. I'm gonna think about this logically, but just let me get this out. My homegirl, she gonna let me be dramatic. She gonna be
Yeah,
dramatic with me, and then we're gonna be like,
mhm,
okay, regroup. Now, girl, what you got going on?
for
Let's get it
real.
together.
Yeah,
So yeah,
allow me to be up in the clouds a little bit, huh?
right, right.
Like sometimes I feel like I have to talk to my husband like I'm talking to Chat GPT. You are acting as my best friend right now. So that's how I need you to hear
Mhm.
this. You are being
Yes.
my husband who is looking at the best interest of our budget and da 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 da. We'll do it. What do you think we need to do about that?
Right. Like
Not
right
chat
now.
spouse.
Exactly. Look, Chat GP spouse, you are my best friend of so and so
Exactly.
years.
Let
You
me let
already
you
know
know how
X,
you
Y,
need to
and
come
Z.
into this. Yeah, that's it. I
Exactly.
don't need to.
Right.
And my husband is very analytical and a logical person. I'm like, and I'm a very free spirited, like, oh, it just goes with the flow. I didn't feel like they weren't flowing today. He like, it wasn't flowing today. Okay, but this is what needed to get done today. I'm like, well, I just didn't have it in my. I
Right.
mean,
Just wasn't in the
how long
flow.
is it? Yeah. So
Tomorrow is a
sometimes
new day.
and
Yeah.
that's me all day long. So I think that probably plays a part into why it seems like those conversations can be harder, quote unquote, with spouses or partners.
Yeah. That too, and probably just the accountability that you have to
Mm,
take because it's not easy to hear somebody tell you something about yourself that's not the best.
no.
So I can only imagine you're in a partnership and you now have your partner being like, "Hey, listen, this isn't going the way I think it should go. Maybe we can work on some things." So it does take a lot to be able to hear that and still want to have those conversations and want to give that grace and be free.
Yeah.
You know, a little nugget. I think what was really nice that I just heard with your partner being analytical, you being more of the free spirit. I think a lot of times, particularly young women, they think about compatibility. And
Hmm.
you've got to understand like what that really looks like and is that really what you want,
Hmm.
because you have to fill in the gaps. You might need some of what you're missing, what aren't your strong points. So
Hmm.
I think a lot of times people go into relationships thinking like, oh, we've got so much in common, he likes. That's not it. That's not it. The thing that you have to have in common is the ability to be willing to sit down and have the hard conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to be willing to do, but
Mm,
you don't have to like too many of the same things, to be honest. You
right.
absolutely don't. I mean, once you have that moral foundation, you
Hmm.
know what your family dynamics, what
Hmm.
you kind of want to know those key things there. But other than that, this whole fantasy of he likes this, I like this, we like to go to the same places,
Yeah. No.
so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and I think, well, for me, I am okay with not, I don't even want to call it not being compatible, but not being exactly the same. Because they always say, well,
Hmm.
you need to sit down and see if you'll date yourself. I love me. I think I'm fantastic. I'm not gonna date another me. That would be chaotic as
Hmm.
all. Mm-mm,
Hmm.
mm-mm,
Hmm. I
mm-mm.
would be aggravated.
Exactly. I would be aggravated. I'd be overstimulated. We're gonna be frustrated. No, thank you. Like, and so I feel like even in compatibility, there still needs to be a balance. Like there
Yeah.
needs to be some type of balance. So, like you said, to my free spirit and my whimsies, you need to be analytical. Somebody got to be able to
Hmm.
keep us on
Hmm.
task.
Hmm.
Because hey, I'll be doing 12,000 things, and the to-do list will still have everything to do on it.
It's still
So,
to
yeah,
be done. And I'm still
right.
going to look at him and
Yeah.
be like, oh, I was supposed to do that. Right.
Right. But look at my nails. They're cute, right? That's me.
That part,
That's
because it's not
yeah.
that deep. And I think
Right.
for like in a lot of our situations or conversations that him and I have, we have I feel like it had I can see why people say like your marriage kind of operates as a business, right? Because
Yeah.
like Miss Tanya was just saying, we have to align on the mission. We have to align on the
Hmm.
values. And
Yep.
it's, the sectors in a marriage or any relationship will be the same sectors that's in a business, right? Like your
Yep.
communication, how your
Hmm.
finances are handled, your people, your staff will be your children, whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
And a lot of what the the adaptive things has been, hey, your perspective may be this, my perspective may be that, but how do we
Right.
communicate those perspectives? Someone in the
Yes.
chat just mentioned about communicating respectfully. I think that
Hmm.
is so big because we can have the biggest disagreement. We may not even be aligned on the same path of things, but if we can communicate that respectfully, a lot of times, I won't hold you. A lot of times I
Right.
probably don't want to do that, right? Like I'm a human. A lot of times
Exactly.
if I'm very
Yeah.
passionate about something, I'm like, I, if you could just do the kids' laundry on Tuesday, big dog. So on Saturday, I ain't looking at miles and miles of laundry. Like why we can't get on the same page with that? And
Right.
that's something small to some people, but as somebody who's
Hmm.
operating a whole household and you have everybody has activities going on, chilling, changing
Hmm.
clothes 2, 3 times a day, feel like I'm like, hold on, overstimulated.
Like, wait a
Yeah,
minute. Right.
yeah. If you don't want an
Yes.
overstimulated wife, if you don't want an overstimulated partner, if you don't want an overstimulated friend, do this laundry on Tuesday for me. Love you, mean it.
Please.
Bye.
Right.
Sometimes that's as
Yes.
respectful as it can get. I
As it
just
can
need
get.
to like,
Hmm.
I got 3 lines. I need to say this in 3 lines. Because if I go overboard, we gonna go left. So let me. How can I tell this to
Right.
you? Like on my way out the door.
Right. And I think a big part of that too, with the communication being respectful, is also active listening. And
Mm,
I don't think everybody has active listening skills. I know I would not have them if I wasn't an RA in undergrad, but they make us practice so we learn how to mediate all
mhm,
these little dramas that come through. And it's like, you know what? Why don't I apply this practice to my real life? Because if I hear you, but I'm listening just to respond or to have a rebuttal, this conversation is going nowhere, and
absolutely.
we're not going to solve anything. We're not going to get to any type of conclusion, and vice versa. But if I'm listening to at least hear you out, whether I agree with what you're saying or not, I can still understand where you're coming from and say, you know what, we may be seeing this differently, but maybe this is how we can come to a common ground. Or thank you for
Hmm.
helping me understand where you're coming from because I just didn't know that's how you felt. And so,
Hmm.
really taking the time to be able to listen actively is I think is a really good and important part of that respectful communication too. Because
Yeah.
whoo,
And I think with that, with having that, no matter how different two people are, like
hmm,
we may share some of the same interests. Don't get me wrong. Like, would I have wanted to be with somebody who none of their interests I cared anything about, right? Like we're
right,
starting from everything you tell me that you're going to do. I'm like, okay. Like I have no
right,
interest. I would not want
yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying? So I
at
think we
all.
find that common medium by active listening, because a
Hmm.
lot of what people could figure out earlier on is found in the active listening aspect of it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
it really.
it appears to be that we align, right? We may
Hmm.
align on some things. We may not be the most compatible in all areas, but our directions align. What we value align. And to me, that's what matters most when you're building any type of relationship or partnership, honestly. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, I don't really care how you skin your cat. I
right,
don't really care about that. I don't really care how you like your chicken wings fried. As long as we have the same understanding that you washed them first. That
exactly. They clean. We gonna eat good.
they clean and you took all the little feathers off. That's
Right,
all
because
I
I
care
don't need
about.
to be picking feathers out my teeth.
You
Mm-mm.
can fry it, put it in a little gravy, grill it, bake
Right,
it, however you want to do that.
air fryer.
Thank you. But just clean the chicken. If we
That's it.
align on that part of the process, we good.
Right. And you know, something else, and this is something I had to realize about myself when it comes to respectful communication, is understanding when like something that you just want to say or want to get off your chest is not productive to the conversation. Cause ooh, that is something I had to learn real. I was like, you know what? Actually, I don't need to say that because this isn't productive. This isn't going to help us. This is just me
Mm.
feeling like I need to say this. And
So what helped you to like, I guess, mitigate that or to work on that in a sense to where it's not necessarily where you're silencing yourself, but really evaluating the I want to say value, but like if it's pertinent for the conversation.
I think from honestly, it came from somebody. It's not that somebody told me I hurt their feelings necessarily, but it came from somebody telling me like, pretty much like, why would you say that? And in my head, I was like, because I'm angry or I'm upset, and these are my
Mm,
feelings. Like that. That's why I said it. I wanted you to know how I felt. And it wasn't until I sat back and I replayed the conversation, I was like, okay, you didn't have to say that in that way. You really
mm,
could have expressed your feelings differently. Or was this even something that you were genuinely upset about? Or did you just want to have well, since you said this, I'm going to say that.
yeah.
And so I just had to really do a lot of self reflection. Like, you know what? It's okay to not say everything as
Hmm.
long as you're getting the important parts out. And then
Yeah.
also thinking about how I want to express what I'm feeling so that it's not making the conversation go left. Because sometimes we
Mm,
can disagree without it being a argument, and we can have conflict without it being volatile or
yeah.
aggressive. It's okay for us not to have the exact same thoughts, like we're saying.
Hmm.
And so just being able to really effectively communicate those was something I told myself, we're gonna work on this.
Yeah.
We're not gonna silence ourselves, but we also don't have to go off at the mouth all the time. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. I probably I don't know. I feel like I didn't learn as much about myself until I was able to like truly externally process it. And I think well, I had the time to truly
Yeah.
like sit down and really process it. And I feel like that started for me during COVID
Yes.
because I don't really know how people do it. Like being in the house all the time, it's not my
Okay.
life. That's not my lane. I was struggling, Joe. Oh, I was struggling. Everything's getting on my nerve. I would have, I leave. Oh, okay. Miss Tori said, "Oh, there are a lot of things I leave unsaid, but it's to the point where I'm losing my voice." That, right?
Yeah.
So
I
that has
understand.
been major for me because this is exactly where I was going during the periods
Mhm.
of COVID, where you are around the same people all the time, and it's majority of the time the people closest to you, right?
Mhm.
You really begin to smell the stench of everybody's crap. Like
Yeah.
beforehand, we was so busy. It's kind of like I really didn't see how
Right.
much that really could have bothered me, or whatever the case may be. And so,
Mhm.
not only conflict resolution, but being able to articulate from that space of and not feeling like you're nagging or not feeling like, well,
Yeah.
golly, every time something come up, you have something to say, right? But I was also the
Mhm.
kid in class who just talked too much. Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Shahara, and I like to talk. It's like duh. And so,
Right.
but for me, it was I feel like I did lose my voice,
Mhm.
right? And that
Yeah.
was more so from suppressing not necessarily my truth, but not necessarily knowing how to articulate it in a way that it did not offend or that it did not betray or that it, you know what I'm saying, it was not
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because when the fuse is already this short and you feel like the world is ending, huh? Who got time to filter something? Who has
Right.
time? Right? I don't know.
Filter
I'm
is out
just
the
telling
window.
you right now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everything is going
Mhm.
out the window. All the gloves are off. Okay, Miss Khan.
Sis.
But with the gaining my voice back, what helped me with that was journaling it out. Like, okay, yes,
Yeah.
it feels as though you are processing in like caveman style. Because
It
something,
does.
what would happen with me is something would happen, then I have to
Mhm.
go journal about it, and I have to sit with it. I might have to go for a run, and I'm thinking that I'm ready to
Yeah.
have the conversation, but when I come back, I'm still a little heated, and I'm not wanting to come off that way. So now it's been 5 days, and I come to you, hey, 5 days ago, you said,
Mhm.
and this was my thoughts on that, right?
Yeah.
So I felt as though me wanting to hurry up and have a response, like what you were saying, made
Yeah.
those edges very sharp until I had to relearn my voice. And relearning my voice was saying how I want it to sound to me.
Yes,
You
that too.
may feel offended by it, but I know that I have practiced talking. I have
Right.
practiced articulating exactly how I'm feeling because I didn't want it to be a
Mhm.
sharp edged sword. I didn't want it to be
Exactly.
disrespectful. So yeah, I took my processing time T minus 7 days.
Right.
You said this 7 days from now, I got a response for you, and it took me that long. But it was me learning my voice. Okay, I wrote
Yeah.
this out. The first time I wrote this out, it was hard. Oh Lord, God, I'm so glad I didn't tell you that. Oh, so glad I
Mhm.
didn't say how I really felt it. But
Right.
to not take away from me feeling it that way, because that's my
Yeah.
business how I feel it. That's my
Right.
business, right? Me articulating how I feel, the moment I decide to share it with you, that now becomes your business.
Right.
I need to make sure that I'm articulating this in a way that it'll be received well, because I don't want to just be talking out the side of my neck to just be talking.
Exactly.
So it
Exactly.
took time of practicing my voice. So that's what I
Yeah.
was saying. Here, I don't want to click on the comments because I might click off something. But for her saying that losing her voice, practice utilizing your voice. Use your voice memo on your phone.
Yes.
That has been really big for me. Just hearing myself back and seeing where I feel that
Hmm.
in my body. Like, ooh, that hurt my feelings. I can't believe I
Yeah.
said
Right. And I'm
it.
not gonna lie either, Tori, sometimes I have to type out what I want to say. And I will take it to Chat GPT and say, now, how does this not land me in HR? Whether that is really literally or figuratively, like I just need to get my thoughts out somewhere. And then I need
Hmm.
to see what it looks like in a reasonable sense. And then
Hmm.
I can, okay, well, yes, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. Let me figure out how to communicate that. Because, hey, sometimes you just got to get it out. And that was something I learned too is even if I don't say it how I want to that person, I need to get it out.
Yeah.
That's where I got to start. I got to get it out.
Yep.
And then for
That's
me
your
too,
voice.
in my everyday life, I'm literally helping people manage conflicts and mediate conflicts and have these hard conversations. And I'm like, you know what? Why am I not putting theory to practice in my own life? Or I'm
We
going to
can.
therapy and I'm talking to my therapist and she's telling me these things and I know what to do. Why am I not practicing?
Yeah,
So
why are you
that was
giving money away, KJ? Why
right.
are you
Like
just giving them? You
actually,
just handing it out.
let's just go ahead and do this for real. Let's do this. So it takes work and it takes that self awareness and it hurts a little bit when you have to be self aware. But I
Yeah.
think it when you finally figure out and like find your voice in that way, it's empowering and it's
Mhm.
nice.
Mhm. I
It's
agree.
nice.
I agree. I think that the your identity becomes such a huge part of your voice. Um,
Yes.
or maybe am I saying that backwards in time? But anyway, where I was going with it
Yes.
is that with your identity, you have a clear picture for the most part
Hmm.
about who you are, how you want to be perceived, and what you want to represent.
Hmm.
Your voice becomes such a huge part of that. And I feel like that's something that's built over time. Even like,
Hmm.
you know, with your mom or whatever the case may be, me and my mom could be
Yeah.
having a conversation and she can say the same thing 4 different tones. And I
Right.
know which identity of mama I have with each of those four
Hmm.
tones.
Sure do. Every time.
You know what I'm saying? Like my mom can say my name 4 different ways. And I'm like, she like, girl, Shahara, ha ha ha, we laughing. And then she like Shahara Janae. And I'm like, what I do? I didn't even do
Look,
nothing. Like,
right. When I hear my actual first name, huh? What
yeah,
happened? What I do?
what's going on? And so
Like,
it
hey girl,
becomes
what's
that
going
way
on?
with your voice, right? Like
Right.
there should be a way that or you have practiced over time, you have built that identity over time with your voice that, hey, I
Hmm.
can articulate my joy in this way. I know
Right.
how I'm gonna sound. I know how I can articulate. I can, if it's a passionate conversation and I feel it rising
Hmm.
up in my chest, I know that my pitch goes higher so it appears as if I'm speaking louder, but I don't want the person to feel like I'm yelling at them. So
Right.
I got to do something in here to help me. Okay, we gotta,
Right. Gotta bring
yeah,
it back. Gotta bring it back.
we own these people Zoom and they paid you for a workshop. You do not need to be yelling at
Right.
these people.
Right.
You don't need to be yelling at these people. That's
Like,
not what
let's
you're here
we
for
go really
today.
deep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
not suppressing your voice, but learning to develop it over time.
Hmm.
I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned while my daughter was in speech therapy, was
Hmm.
helping her become okay with her voice, how she sounded
Yeah.
with it. My R's don't sound like
Right.
your R's, but I need you to understand that this is a R and the notion that it's supposed to give, and helping her,
Exactly.
seeing her practice her voice. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of women, we struggle with especially women of color, us brown girls, we
Yeah.
struggle so much with holding on to our voice because we have been so easily labeled as the angry black women when we're passionate,
Yeah. Be seen,
or
not heard.
exactly, or that even our voice doesn't matter. Sitting
Mm-hmm.
at the table with the people, and 3 weeks ago you made a suggestion, they was like, ah, no, but today it's on a PowerPoint. Hold on.
Yeah.
But you don't want me to
Right.
say, I thought we said we visited that 3 weeks ago when I mentioned it.
Mhm.
Oh, well, it's a team effort. No, 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 no,
No,
no,
no, no.
no. That
No, no.
PowerPoint say your name at the end. Now hold on
Right.
now.
Because wait a minute,
but
listen.
to yeah, but to be able to articulate that and use our voice for so long, it has been so okay for us to be silenced
Right. And
for the
I'm
sake
glad.
of allowing things to be okay.
Right. And I'm glad that now we are finding our voices and being okay using them more because it's really fine. It's okay to be heard. And that is a conversation that I feel like I have just with a lot of the younger women that are in my life. Like, it's okay to be heard, but just work on what you're feeling and how you want to express that. Because people are going to be more willing to listen to you when you're level headed. I know we get passionate and we feel what we feel, but when you really want something done and you really need people to listen to you, you got to know your audience.
Yeah,
You got to
absolutely.
practice.
So good conversation. And in wrapping that conversation up, you guys went to, you went to a lot of good places that I think we as women, and particularly young women, need to identify with. Well, in fact, I know they identify with it. So just
Hmm.
hearing you articulate it is a good thing because I feel like oftentimes social media has brought so much into the picture, and we've got so many people who are into the, you know, you guys know what's going on
The
social
highlight
media, and
reels.
I just feel like it doesn't give a true
Hmm.
representation of what young women like yourselves are really doing out here and how you truly are making efforts to communicate within relationships and in partnerships, and what that looks like as a young woman. So I really enjoyed listening to your conversation.
Well,
Really
thank
enjoy
you.
having
Thank you. Right. I didn't even realize we've been talking that long. To be honest,
I know.
until you popped up in your producer corner and then I saw the thing. I said, oh, shoot, we've been talking that long for real. My
Just having a
dog
good
over here
time.
asleep. She said, girl, you going. I'm taking a nap. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Great job, ladies. Thank you for joining
Thank
us. We really
you.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Tori
Thank
said
you,
she
Miss
loved the
Tori.
conversation. Top tier. Thank you, Tori. Hey, somebody got to talk about it.
Mm.
Somebody
Okay.
got to talk.
Absolutely. This was fun.
It was a wonderful show. Thank you so much.
So y'all think y'all gonna get into this again? Y'all gonna do another one?
Well, we
I
are.
mean, we got to spin the block.
We do.
Got
You
to
got to come
spin
back.
it.
Let me see when we coming back so I can be ready this time.
Oh, yeah, 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 for sure.
Just listen. It's been 2 years. You think I have my calendar pulled up by the time we end the episode?
Learn me thy ways, KJ. Learn me thy ways.
Right. Okay, boom. Okay, yeah, the 26th of July is our next last Sunday of the month.
Okay, let's do it. I'm game for it.
Ooh. And look,
Say bye, y'all.
bye.
Toodles. See y'all next time.
See y'all